Alrighty, there's the outcropping I'm working on, and I have it in place right here, and it's actually not glued in yet, but what I'm doing is I'm building it at the workbench. So what I have here is I have a chunk of styrofoam. Had some pieces I hadn't glued on yet. Okay, and I'm cutting these pieces in and fitting them in, trying to get it to look like an outcropping. And I'm going to slide it right into there. I've cut some of the styrofoam out from there. So I was originally going to try to do it in place, but it would have been too much. So I'm doing it like this so I can build it at the workbench. And you know, if I don't like something, I can change it. But I still have to mold these rock castings together with the plaster. I'm just going to pour into the cracks like I did over here. Also like right here where I poured down here. And also did it over here too. Match everything together. Here I did it here too. Alright, this is how I color my rocks. Actually what I do is I stain them. Okay? And I actually have 3 colors I use. This is my basic rock color, the first one. Alright, that is just the latex color paint I use. The latex paint I use to paint my scenery and put in my ground goop. That's that color, so everything has the same hue and it matches. Okay? This is like a rusty wall color, that right there. This one here. And of course I use, the first coat I put down is going to be diluted with water, and of course all of these mixtures have a little bit of detergent in them to get them to flow good. Basically, hit it with the black first. You could hit it with the basic wall color first. .32 ounces, and I put, I think, 5 drops of India ink into 32 ounces. Okay. I'm going to use the basic rock color now. The other color is dried, and we'll use this. Mix it up. Alright, next color here is going to be a rusty wash here. This color here, this is a mix of burnt sienna, a little bit of red oxide, and some raw sienna mixed in with that brown color. This is my initial coat on these things. This is going to dry. And then, once I have them in place, and the ground goop around them, and then I do some more detailed painting with different colors. But that's the basic color of my rocks. Before I glue them to the scenery base. I've also been trying to make some rock faces out of the styrofoam. I have like some success. It doesn't look as good as the plaster rocks. I mean, not even close. I mean, it's easier to make huge rock, outcroppings and stuff with this, because you can just make the whole piece. You don't have to piece things together, so it makes it a little bit easier. But this is what I've come up with here. I've hit it with some light gray paint here. This one here is the way it looks because I originally sprayed it with Rust-Oleum, and it sort of ate away at the foam, and it made some cool looking things here. But I think it's out of scale. I think this is would be good for a 1/35 scale diorama because it's kind of big. But these here, I basically just carved it up certain ways. And I don't know, I'll see what I come up with. Kind of like this one. Came out okay. But anyway, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as the plaster. As the hydrocal plaster ones. Alright, now I've sort of put this in place where I think it's going to go here. Actually, I know it's going to go here. And then I just cut this piece out to fit in there. And what I did is I took a piece of paper, right, and I drew out the size I need. Just like that with the piece of paper. Right? And then I went to one of my cutouts and I came up with this. And I must tell you, I cut this on a bandsaw, so I don't know if you guys have a bandsaw or not, but the bandsaw is going to work good. You could probably, just score it. It's going to take a while. Just make sure when you get your new pieces from your mold that you do thin pieces. Don't do the full thickness of the mold, because then you're going to need a bandsaw to cut it. Or some sort of saw. But anyway, that's how this is going to go here, and you can see that fits in there pretty good. And once I fill this in with the thing, I can get a little closer here with this too. Once I fill that in, it's going to work out good once I fill that in. Now you can use your bandsaw to cut this. Now I have an old blade in here that I don't care about, that I changed over. Trim a little off of this guy. This is going to make it real easy to do it. Just go slow. This is what you end up with. It cuts it good. It's just, like I said, I have an old used up blade that I used. But I normally use this for my guitar building. Glued that piece in place. See it? The light's not going to show you, but I just glued in that front piece right there. I'm holding it with the clamp. I'm using the that one I use liquid nails, but most of this stuff I'm using that that caulk I have to glue this all together. When I glue it down to the layout, I'm going to use the liquid nails. But there's the piece there that I fitted in where it had to go, and then I glued it in. Well, actually, I glued it in on the layout, and then I pulled it back out and clamped it up here on top. I mean, I'm hoping this looks good. There we go. I'm going to show you how I put these all together here, and then I fill in the cracks. And here's my mixture here. It's pretty watery. All right, and when I get down inside here into these cracks here, what I do, because as you can see I've done it already, but I take my spatula, let's just say like this, right here, and then I pour it right in like this, and bend that, and I'm going to pour this right down inside there, right onto that, and it's going to pour right down in there, see? And that fills right up down in there, just like that. I've already done a few coats of this, so I'm just doing this to show you how you do it here. I got a little in here. I want to get some inside there. So what I'll do is I'll get some of this loose on here. It's loose. It's pretty watery. You know, it's almost like, you know, like cream or half and half here. Put that right inside there so it goes down in there, just like that. See, I've done this already here. I did this all last night. Here, see? I'm going to take my little guy here and push that all back inside there. So we're going to go back here. As it hits the dry plaster, it's going to dry quick because it pulls the moisture out of it. You don't need to wet it first if you make the actual beginning mixture watery. You don't have to mix much, but here we are here. See how quick it dried? Now you can start shaping it into place. Shape it up. I hope you guys can see this, but there we go. Oops, see, you just gotta hit it there. You can't put too much on the spatula. This area here, I got that. You go there, and once this begins to dry, you can shape it. I'm just gonna let this stuff dry for a few minutes here, and then once it starts getting hard, you can shape it out, and you can clean it up once you, because this here I cleaned it up with you can clean it up with a toothbrush, and I hit it with some water on a paintbrush in these areas. But put some right in here. There's the old paintbrush. Got my rigid paintbrush here. Paintbrushes work good too here to get this stuff here. Good to have water too. I gotta get some water. It's going to work right down into there like that, see? Look at that. Get that all off of there. The details. You get the big pieces out, scrape it, smooth it. Blow the stuff out of there. These pieces, this one here, look at this. Yes. water right here. Just filled up that canister with water, just regular water. Now I'm going to grab some of these spots here that I've marked. Do this. Sort of smooth everything out. There you go. There we go. It's pretty much how I blend my rocks together. And there was a lot of rocks to blend on this one because I just pieced everything together, and this is still the same mold. I use one mold for this whole thing plus what's over there. And when you put this in place and look at it, you really can't tell it's one mold unless somebody tells you it is. All right, I've actually, restained it, and it's now glued into place here. Here's the basic rock outcropping here. Okay. Of course, I'm gonna, once I get the scenery done, I do a little more airbrushing and stuff on the rocks. I've glued in some more styrofoam there. I gotta match this up here. This is where I gotta put it together. Match this up here. And okay, here's my finished product. There's my spot that I had to fill in. Ran the plaster down. I had to make little pieces from my rock mold and pretty much glue them in there. That guy, that guy, that guy. This guy over here, this guy here. And I think that's it. Oh, up here too I did one right there. And I colored it. It looks like an water erosion coming down there. And that, my friends, is it. All right, so this is going to end. This is going to end part 2. There's my outcropping there. Let me do a bird's eye view of it. And I'll be back with, I guess we're going to put down some dirt. And we're going to put down some ballast. And I'm going to start on the bridge, getting the bridge in place. The road bridge is going to come right across and be a view block for the branch line to the through the backdrop.